To those of you joining us today, thank you for listening to the Woburn Spotlight. I'm your host, Tyler Gates, here to bring you some positivity by talking to you with those in town that are making big strides for the greater good. Today I'm very fortunate to have with me Andrea Bunker from the Woburn Public Library. Andrea, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, we've got to know each other a little bit through Rotary over the last couple of months, and it's been fantastic. And I'm really excited to talk about the expansion of the library today. I know that's a topic that's near and dear to your heart, to say the very least.
Absolutely.
And so, do you mind just sharing a little bit about you and why you're here today and what you're going to be talking about?
Sure, absolutely. So I've been director of the library since July 1st, when Kathy O'Doherty, our former director, retired after 30 years at the helm, and she did a great job in getting us to where we are today. I am a Woburnite, third generation, and I left after college and I lived in Rhode Island. I was a high school English teacher for a while, and then I decided to go get my master's in library and information science, and I went to URI. And so my first professional job ended up being in North Carolina, in Raleigh.
In Raleigh, that's a nice area.
So it was a big trial by fire, or baptism by fire job. It was a very busy library and beautiful, and we served a very diverse population. So we knew we weren't going to stay in North Carolina. We wanted to come back to our family, so we looked for jobs up here, and I found one in Newburyport, and I was the teen services librarian there, and then the head of reference.
Okay.
And then I saw this
So you've had
job
quite
posting.
the journey.
I have had a journey. I started off as a volunteer and then a circ assistant before when I was in grad school. So I've worked in every single job in a library, which I find to be
That's great.
very good experience for running a library. So you know what every area does and how it should run, which is great. So I was assistant director at the Woburn Public Library for 3 years before becoming director. So I had the best mentor in Kathy, and
Kathy's a phenomenal person.
She is.
Such a big heart.
She
and
is.
we're fortunate to see her every couple of weeks or every week at Rotary.
Absolutely.
So that transition must have been relatively easy with such a great mentor.
Yes, it was very smooth, so I feel very fortunate for that. A lot of people don't have that when they become a director. They don't have that tutelage and that time to really know everyone in the city and know how things work. And so it was very advantageous for me.
Okay. And with your time at the Woburn Library, I know that this has always been something that's been a big presence. It's more space. You guys are limited as to what you can offer right now in services. And it sounds like really because of the space limitations, you guys are going from our previous conversation, I believe, from 9,000 square feet to 36,000, or roughly?
We're going to 39,000.
39, even better.
Yes,
even better.
Yes. So we're adding on 30,000 square feet.
Wow.
And our building is gorgeous. It's a National Historic Landmark. But what I found in the library field is sometimes they can be both a blessing and a curse, because there's not much flexibility with the design, so we could not offer as many 21st century services as we would like with that design. So while I love that feeling, and I love when I walk into that library, that just feeling of awe that fills me when I'm in there. It's a beautiful building, and it just feels so important when you're in there, and it gives a certain weight to furthering your knowledge and finding information. It's just a really nice place to be. So I feel like our architects have done a great job in retaining that quality. And so when you're in the building, in the original building, you will not really feel the impact of the addition. And the addition is beautiful in its own right. So it's a beautiful 21st century library, and one that I think H.H. Richardson would be very happy to see going on this particular library. So as you can see here on the monitor, we have a lot of glass facing the building, and that is strategic because there's so much ornamentation on that masonry from the back of the building that if you were to put on a building that had masonry itself in the back, you would not be able to see
the beauty
of that building.
Wow.
So you really get a 360-degree view of the Richardson, which is so ornate and so beautiful. So I'm really excited about the glass and also natural light. There's
That'll be
really
wonderful
no
for
natural
reading.
light. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just a nice space to be in. We're finding in our temporary space that people are gravitating toward the windows because
Really?
they like that feeling of seeing the outside while being inside and studying and working on their computers. So it's really a nice thing to see, and that we'll be able to offer that is great. So the only places where we're connecting really are behind where the original circ desk was.
Okay.
So you'll see here, so the circ desk is directly behind the view that you're seeing here.
Okay.
So we get really great oversight into the original building, and right where this person is walking, that opening behind them, that's where the circ desk was.
Right, okay.
And then also in the reference area, there are 5 punch-throughs in the masonry, and you get to walk up and get to see the ornamentation on the columns and really see the sandstone. It's spectacular.
So is that what you were explaining? The glass that you could see through is not going
Absolutely.
to hinder any of the what you can already see currently from outside?
No. So,
That's
and when
fantastic.
you're standing in that study hall, if you're looking straight down it, you won't even see any of the addition. So your experience in that building will really remain the same, which is wonderful. So our architects, they have great reverence for this building. This is a project that is very dear to them as it is to us. So they are taking great care in terms of connecting and making sure that it's a functional space. And we are trying to bring back the fireplace that's in the original building. The fireplace area is one that has not been working in years. They did use it to heat the building during World War I because they did not have any coal at the time. There was a shortage. So that was really probably the last time that it was used.
Interesting fact.
Yes, so we are trying to, we're putting in the infrastructure to make it a gas fireplace, and we'll see if we are able to raise enough to make it work and have soft seating around there. So there will be many different areas you can be in. We're going to have a laptop vending machine, so if you need a computer, you can check one out for 2 hours and use it anywhere in the building.
That's a really neat concept.
It is.
I assume you're not the first, but...
We're not the first. Arlington already has one. It works wonderfully. Cambridge just got a different type. We're going with the one that Arlington has, but they love it, the staff and the patrons, because you really get to be untethered in the library. So instead of having 15 people around you while you're on the computer, and if you needed to do something that was sensitive, you can go to any place in the library to work. And so if you want that new feeling, you can be in the newer part of the building in the addition, or if you want that old existing library feeling, like in the study hall, the Frizzell Study Hall, you can be in there too.
Like you were saying before, you can sit by the windows,
Yes.
you can sit by the fireplace.
Absolutely.
That gives them that choice,
Right.
which is, I mean, the library comes down to comfort, right? You want to be comfortable when you're reading or doing work.
Absolutely.
So that's a great option. I didn't know you guys were doing that.
Yes.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Now, I know this is near and dear to your heart. I want to step back just briefly before we dive fully into kind of a few of the things we came here to talk about today. And just, you mind just touching briefly on the library's mission and what you guys have done in the past, and why you're heading in the direction that you are heading?
Absolutely. So our mission is to provide materials for recreational and educational use, so that people are able to expand their horizons. And in Woburn, according to the 2010 census, about 30 to 37% of the population have a bachelor's degree or higher. So I feel like we're kind of the people's university. We're a place for people to come and learn about any subject they want to learn about. Also a place for people to gather and collaborate. And really with the new building, we're increasing the amount of collaboration space. We'll have a conference room where our fiction room used to be, which we call the Octagon Room. We're going to have 3 quiet studies so people can get together. If you have a school project you have to work on, or say you have a job interview over Skype, there will be one study room that will have teleconferencing capability. So. And then we'll also have a maker space, which will have 3D printers and a laser scanner, or laser cutter, sorry. And that will help with entrepreneurial endeavors, really trying to support people's personal growth in our city.
That's great.
Yeah.
I feel like every time we have a conversation, I learn something new about the library, and every time I'm just as intrigued as the time before. So 3D printers.
Yes.
You're
3D
getting
printers.
a space, coming in. Do you know or have an idea what kind of projects might go on in there early on?
So we're hoping that area businesses, people who have expertise in different tech fields or science fields, they'll be doing master classes in that makerspace. We also want to be a place where people can learn how to code, which is such an important skill in today's information economy. So we really want to have classes in that, and also allow people who might have an idea and they need a prototype to come create that prototype, and at a minimal cost to themselves, so that they can try to launch a business or do something for a professional program they might be in, or graduate school or college. So we're really looking to enhance people's knowledge base, and so that they can compete in this economy, which is something that if you graduated at the time I did, it was just a burgeoning field, tech. So
look how far it's
yeah,
come.
I know, absolutely.
Every year, every week, there's leaps and bounds moving forward in the right direction.
Yeah, and if you haven't kept up with it, even if you graduated with a tech degree, things change so often that it would be nice to be able to come in and take a master class with someone and hone your skills a little bit more. And we're going to be buying a database called Safari, which has tech books that are online, as well as online video tutorials from people from Python and on Java and all of those different things. So,
are you going to be engaging, and I know at some point you probably will, but have you had thoughts of engaging the youth with technology and things like this?
Absolutely, yes.
That's going to be a huge movement for them.
So
and all of the youth in the area and the surrounding towns going forward, I can only imagine.
Absolutely. So we've already started conversations with the high school and the teachers who run different programs that align well with the makerspace. And the makerspace is situated right next to the teen room. So we wanted to make sure that they had a programming room where they could come and explore and just create things and really have fun playing around with this technology, so that it doesn't feel you're not getting graded, you're not in school, but you're still learning in a fun way. So it's right off of that teen room, which is wonderful. So we can have access right there for them to utilize those tools.
And I know I drove by today, and there's some containers out front.
Yeah.
The reason we're here today is kind of to touch upon the groundbreaking that's going to be happening. You mind just touching a little bit on that and letting people know what's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks in Woburn?
So Consigli just got their building permit last Friday, so they have complete ownership of the site right now. So they have their trailers out front. That's what you're seeing, is the construction trailers for both Consigli and our owner's project manager, which is DTI, Design Technique. So the groundbreaking is going to be on Thursday, May 25th at 10 a.m. We invite anyone to come. We'd love to see you there. And it's really a day of celebration. It's taken a long time to get to this point. We started looking for more space in 1908 when they discovered, hey, we need to have children's services. This is an important piece to a library now. And then Kathy, our former director, she applied for grants over a 20-year, 25-year period to get this project going. So it's one of celebration, and I cannot wait to see what we are able to do with this new space. So the groundbreaking, it's a big moment for us. This is the last of H.H. Richardson's libraries to get an addition, but it's the first library that he ever designed. So it's a big deal in terms of that as well.
So what should we expect Thursday, 10 a.m.
Thursday, 10 a.m. So there will be speeches.
Okay.
So our mayor, our president of our board of trustees, which is Richard Mahoney, one of the commissioners from the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners will be speaking, myself and Kathy. So, and then there will be
great.
pastries.
She's going to be
She'll be there too, absolutely. She is such an integral part of this that she definitely deserves to be at the forefront of it. And then we'll have lots of picture opportunities with a pile of dirt and shovels.
Wonderful. Okay. So that'll be
So
fun, though. That'll be a
it will
fun
be a
event.
lot
It's
of
really
fun.
the start of a major project.
Yes.
And the completion date. What's the timeline look like for something
Yeah.
of this scope?
So at this point, we're looking at December of 2018.
Okay.
If we happen to have a very good winter coming up, which I think we all hope we do.
Every year we hope that.
Every year we hope that. So it might be a little bit less, but they've done a lot of work prior to this point to kind of figure out the condition of the building and minimize the amount of surprises they find as they delve into the restoration work and prepare for the addition to be put on. However, that does not mean that they've seen everything, so we might run into one or two surprises that might delay it a little bit.
Pretty typical of construction.
Pretty typical, yes. So
Yeah.
it just happened in Reading. They found some things when they were adding on that they had to rectify, and it was about 3 to 6 months of a delay. So
Fingers
we're
crossed
hoping
that
for
we have smooth sailing.
December 2018.
Okay,
Yes.
wonderful. And I know there's been a few misconceptions in town with the project, and
Yes.
it happens with any
Yes.
project.
Yeah.
Are there anything that you kind of want to debunk or talk
Yeah.
about now? I know.
Yeah.
I know at one point I think I heard that they thought the construction trailers were part of the
Yes.
addition. So
that is something that I
yes.
heard through the grapevine, that people thought the trailers on the front were the actual addition, which
Yes.
is not true. Those will be going away, and it won't actually mar the landscape because they're changing the walkway. So the path is going to change. They have to dig up that area anyway. But there's so much digging going on in the back, they had to put them in the front. Another thing that I've read is that people believe that we put solar panels on top of the existing Richardson Library, but those are actually original skylights that Richardson had put into the design. A lot of people are shocked to hear that there were skylights back in 1879, but he wanted that natural light to come into that gallery space. So those are original skylights. Then I think a lot of people think the rendering that they see, that is the back of the addition, they think that that's the front of the library. So you can see it right here. So this is actually off of the back of the library. The height of the roof of the addition does not go above the roof of the Richardson, so you really don't have that much of an impact from your Pleasant Street view.
Okay.
And
This is standing from almost where the post office is, I'd assume?
so it's more the Towanda.
Okay.
So if you're standing at the Towanda Club, this is kind of what you're going to see.
Okay.
And so a lot of people have talked about the glass. We have very high efficiency glass for energy. There are little ceramic circles in it that really help reduce the amount of heat in the summertime, but help in the wintertime to keep it a little bit warmer. So there's a lot of technology in the glass itself that helps with that. And you get that 360 view of the original building. My favorite part of this addition is that granite is Westerly, Rhode Island granite, which they were able to find some of it, enough of it for the base of the addition, which is, the same granite that is used on the Richardson. And then the sandstone, the yellow sandstone, is from the same quarry in Ohio, where the original sandstone on the existing building came from. So although there is glass, there are elements that are exactly the same as on the Richardson.
That's nice.
Yes.
That's a nice tie-in.
Yes.
Those are the facts that we would never know, so I'm glad that you could join us and share that with us.
Thank you.
That makes it that much more memorable and that much better of an experience.
Absolutely.
There's a lot going on.
Yes. There is.
If there's one thing that jumps out at you with what excites you the most, I know this has got to be all just very, very exciting. Is there one thing that you're very looking forward to? A children's room, the service area, the technology room?
Yes.
What in your mind is just something that is just going to be such a benefit for Woburn?
Well, I think all of it, but I'll touch upon some of the pieces. First thing is that everything's going to be accessible, and that has never happened before. So we are excited that we will have a building where anyone is able to come in and get to any of the floors that have collections and really utilize the space. So right now before in the existing library we had this elevator that most people didn't want to ride because it didn't look like it was the safest. And it was difficult for people who were coming in for, say, baby songs to get to the first floor. You have a baby stroller, and how do you get into the building when you have a toddler in tow? So it was frustrating. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about having an expanded children's room. I remember when I would go to the library as a child, it was actually in the annex off the back. And then when it moved into the basement of the library, you could really only fit 2 or 3 families at a time. And here you see space.
So open, so much
Yes.
natural light,
Yeah.
natural light, excuse me.
Yes. And it's 3 times the size of the original one that we
Okay.
just left. And just this space for kids to play and interact, and parents and caregivers and children to, develop literacy skills, play, have a place to go. There aren't many places that you can go to with your family that are for free. So to be able to take that financial burden off of people and have a place where it's a learning environment and also a fun environment for kids, I'm excited about that. We've never had a teen room in Woburn before. I'm really excited about that. Being a former high school English teacher and teen services librarian, I think it's very important to provide a space for teens for after school and on Saturdays and the weekends to come and hang out and have adults there for guidance, and also have materials accessible to them for their learning and their own personal growth. So I'm excited about that too.
That's good. I know from a lot of the conversations we had and our conversations today, 2 of the words that really jump out at me is more services, or 2 of the scopes are more services and more opportunity.
Yes.
You mind just elaborating on the opportunities that are going to be achievable now because of this extra 30,000 square feet?
So not only will we have the technology that's cutting edge and up to date for our citizens and residents and community members to use, but we'll also have the ability now with our program room, which seats 100 people, to be able to offer lectures, offer businesses and nonprofits in the area space where they can reach their goals and do their work for their missions. We've had conversations with some of the English language learning programs, and they are always in need of places for conversation groups or places for tutoring. Our quiet studies will be perfect for tutoring for people, in our conference room and our program room for conversation groups. So helping people who are coming into the library without those English skills, helping them gain those while also being in a comfortable environment. So there are a lot of different opportunities available. I mean, the children's room, we have a craft and story time room that holds about 25 to 30. These are things that we've never been able to offer before because of space. So programming and lectures.
Much more accessible now.
Yeah, so we'll
That's
have
great.
a lot of different opportunities and a lot of partnerships with community organizations to achieve some of those goals.
I know that you guys have talked about a retreat of some sort. I know it's
Yes.
not open to the public, but do you mind elaborating a little bit about
Yes.
what the retreat might
So
entail?
we have entered into a strategic planning phase.
Strategic planning phase,
It is mandated by the Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners that we have an updated strategic plan on file in order for us to receive state aid funds, which we do receive each year. This year we got about $40,000 from the state, which helps us keep our lights on, our building heated. But also, we've bought computer technology with it before too. So it's something to supplement our municipal budget. But in order to qualify for that, you have to have a strategic plan. But also, it's good to have a strategic plan to know where to dedicate your resources and your staff. So we're entering into this period where we are probably over the next 6 months delving into what the community needs are and how the library can help meet them. So we have Library Strategies, which is a consulting firm out of St. Paul Public Libraries. They are part of their Friends and Foundation, and they are a consulting group that goes around to libraries all across the nation and helps with strategic planning, with directions for foundations, friends groups, all of that. So since we have a Friends group and a Foundation group and a Board of Trustees and our library staff, their proposal really stood out to us in terms of what they can offer in this process. So our plan will be for 4 years, which will entail when we're in our temporary space going into our new renovated and expanded building. And we have invited key stakeholders in the community to join us, and key stakeholders could be parents with young children, people who are getting English language services through one of the ELL or ESL groups in town, or nonprofits in town, local business leaders, local officials, community members who utilize the library, and community members who don't utilize the library. So the retreat, we will have about 40 people there, and we will be delving into what the library can do to really bolster different, I guess, goals of people in the community. So we're looking forward to that process.
If somebody saw this on social media or on the local channel, how would they get involved? If that just really interested them and wanted to be a part of that conversation,
Yes.
How do they get engaged?
So if you want to get involved, then you can email me at abunker@minlib.net or call the library at 781-933-0148. I'm always happy to speak with anybody. Or you can come into our library at our temporary location at 36 Cummings Park, which is across the parking lot from Staples.
I'd encourage people to go in and take a visit.
Absolutely.
Because from where you were a couple months ago to where you are now and to where you'll be at the end of 2018 is just going to be a miraculous journey.
Absolutely, absolutely. And already we've been able to, the building that we're in right now is very clean and bright, and people have a very different feel of the library when they come in. So it's interesting to see that transition as we go through all these different phases. But definitely contact me if you're interested. The retreat is on Saturday at the Greek Orthodox Church Community Room from 9 to 3. So,
great.
yeah.
So we have the strategic planning on 5/20,
Yes.
you just mentioned. If you're interested, contact
Yeah.
Andrea. We also have the groundbreaking Thursday, 10 a.m. It's going to be
Yes.
some wonderful speeches and a great place to take a picture with some dirt.
Absolutely.
So that sounds like it is. It's the start of a huge journey.
It is.
And for you guys, it's a huge milestone. And for Kathy, this is something that has been
Yes.
top of mind for years.
Yes.
Years.
Yes, and also our Board of Trustees.
Yes, absolutely.
They have worked so hard on this, and our foundation and our friends group, we couldn't do it. It really does take a whole community to make this happen. City Council, the mayor, everyone, really to get this off the ground. So this community effort is going to result in something that is magnificent. So.
Good. Is there anything else that you'd like to share today? You guys are doing wonderful things, and if you have anything major come up, we'd love to have you back
Wonderful.
and talk about this in detail again.
Wonderful.
Is there anything that you'd like to share in closing?
Well, we'd love for you to come rediscover the library if you haven't been in a while. We offer way more than just books. We have online resources. We have Freegal, where you can download 5 free songs a week, and you get to keep them in perpetuity. We have Overdrive, which provides ebooks. We also have the ebook project from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. We're going to be getting tutor.com, so if you're a high school student or a middle school student who needs help with their homework, you can go on 24/7 and chat with someone who can help you with your homework problems. We have all sorts of online resources, and we're also very knowledgeable about technology. So if you have a problem with your phone or your computer and you can't get to someone who can help you, bring them to us and we will help you with your devices. So we offer a range of services, and I think a lot of people think of the library as just books, and we very much love books in all different forms, physical format, ebook format, but we are so much more than that as well. In our programming, we have wonderful programming for children and for adults and teens. So if you're looking for something to do on a weeknight or on a weekend, check out our events calendar on our website, woburnpubliclibrary.org. So there's so much that the library does, and we really want to be a place where people can come together, learn, hang out, collaborate, and really, do wonderful things. So.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming in today and joining us. It's been great to hear all about the groundbreaking. I know I'm excited to see what's to come,
Yes.
what's in store.
Thank you so much for having me. I so appreciate it.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay. There you have it. The Woburn Library is going to be a one-stop shop resource for you. So thank you for listening to today's show with Andrea Bunker, the director of the Woburn Public Library. Remember, we all have one life to live. Let's all do our part. I'm your host, Tyler Gates. Join us again next time for another episode of the Woburn Spotlight.